All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving headfirst into Maccabees chapter 13, and let me tell you, this is a wild ride. We're talking crisis, we're talking betrayal, and we're talking about the dramatic birth of a nation's independence. It's got it all.
So let's just set the scene here. The story kicks off on an absolute knife's edge. Imagine this. The entire land of Judea is just gripped by panic. Why? Well, their leader, Jonathan Maccabeus, has just been captured by this invading general, a guy named Tryphon. And Tryphon's massive army, it's right on their doorstep, ready to burn it all down. So you've got a nation that's completely leaderless and frankly terrified.
Okay, to really get what's about to happen, you've got to know who's who. Think of it like a high-stakes chessboard. First up, you have Simon. He's the last of the legendary Maccabee brothers still in the game. Then there's his brother, Jonathan. He was the leader, but now he's a prisoner. Our main villain is Tryphon, a super deceitful Seleucid general. And then there's this other character, King Demetrius. He's Tryphon's rival, which makes him, well, a potential but very risky ally. It's a complicated setup.
So just picture it. With Jonathan locked up, Judea is in a total freefall. There's a complete power vacuum. These are people who fought tooth and nail for their freedom. And now, they're just paralyzed by fear. They think it's all over, that the cause is lost. So the big question is, who in the world is going to step up?
Well, out of all that chaos, one man does. Simon, the last Maccabee brother. He sees the nation's despair, and you know what? He doesn't hesitate. He goes right into the heart of the crisis, to Jerusalem, to face that fear head-on and rally the people himself. This is it. This is his moment.
And what a moment it is. In an atmosphere of just incredible tension, Simon gets everyone together and gives a speech that is literally going to change the course of their history.
So what does he do? He leans right into his family's legacy. He reminds the crowd of the incredible sacrifices his father and brothers made, all of them killed fighting for their people. And then he says, I'm no different. I'm the last one left, and I am ready to die for the exact same cause. I mean, talk about an all-in moment. It's incredibly powerful.
And guess what? It totally works. His courage is just infectious. You can feel the shift. The crowd's fear just melts away and turns into this hard-as-steel resolve. And with one single voice, they shout out and make him their new leader, right then and there. They're back in the fight.
Okay, so Simon is getting the troops together, he's beefing up Jerusalem's defenses, but our villain, Tryphon, is watching all of this. He sees Simon's new strength and decides, maybe a direct fight isn't the best idea. So he switches tactics. He decides to play dirty.
So Tryphon sends these messengers over with what sounds like a deal. He's spinning this story that, Jonathan's only being held because of some unpaid debt to the king. A simple misunderstanding. He promises that if Simon just sends over 100 talents of silver and, 2 of Jonathan's own sons as hostages, then he'll let him go. Totally.
Now, this part is so important. Simon is no fool. The text is crystal clear. He knows they're lying through their teeth. But think about the position he's in. He's caught in a political trap. If he says no and Tryphon kills Jonathan, who are the people going to blame? They'll say Simon sealed his brother's fate. So he has to make this incredibly tough, calculated call, and he sends the money and the boys.
And this just perfectly shows you the absolute depth of Tryphon's evil. His promise was a complete and total lie. He pockets the silver, he keeps the kids as hostages, he invades Judea anyway, and then, in just a final disgusting act of cruelty, he murders Jonathan. The betrayal is absolute.
I mean, a loss like that, it could have just shattered the nation, broken them completely. But Simon, he doesn't let grief win. No way. Instead, he channels all of that pain and anger into this incredible flurry of action. He's mourning his brother, for sure, but at the very same time, he's building a stronger nation from the ashes. Just look at what he does. It's a masterclass in leadership. First, he honors his family with this huge, magnificent tomb. It becomes a real symbol of national identity. But he doesn't stop there. He gets practical. He strengthens all the military fortresses. He secures the borders by taking out hostile cities. And then, and this is the real genius move, he opens up a new diplomatic channel with Tryphon's biggest enemy, King Demetrius.
And that diplomatic gamble, wow, it pays off big time. In fact, Simon's move to reach out to King Demetrius leads to maybe the single most important moment in this entire story, a formal, written-in-stone declaration of independence. So King Demetrius, who desperately needs allies against this snake Tryphon, sends back an official letter, and it's everything they could have hoped for. He recognizes Simon as high priest, he forgives all their past taxes and cancels any future ones, and he declares that all those fortresses Simon built, they belong to the Jewish people now. It's huge.
And this one sentence, this says it all. This is the payoff for decades of blood, sweat, and tears. That yoke, that heavy burden of foreign rule, of crushing taxes, it's gone. It's officially lifted. For the first time in generations, they are their own sovereign nation.
Think about how big of a deal this was. It was so monumental that they literally reset their calendar. The year this happened, which was the 17th year of the Seleucid Empire, became year 1, the first year of Simon the High Priest. They started counting time all over again from this exact moment of freedom. That's how much it mattered.
And Simon doesn't waste a second making this independence real. He goes on to drive out the last of the foreign soldiers, he purifies the fortresses they held, and then he leads his people inside. But here's the cool part. They don't enter like a conquering army. They enter with songs, with harps, with thanksgiving. He literally transforms these places of war into symbols of peace and national celebration.
So, in the end, the story of the last brother standing becomes the story of a nation's founding father. Simon's journey just goes to show you that leadership, especially in a crisis, isn't just one thing. It's not just giving great speeches, and it's not just being good at fighting. It's this masterful blend of military strategy, really shrewd diplomacy, and knowing how to use powerful symbols to build a whole new identity out of the ashes of fear.